This is being billed as the biggest fight since Leonard Hearns back in '81. Is it that big? I don't know, man. I know Leonard was 30-1 with 21 knockouts, and Tommy Hitman Hearns was 32-0 with 30 knockouts. These fighters at the time were huge fighters. These fighters at the time were billed as pretty much unstoppable fighters. All of the boxing world was tuned into the fight, but these were young fighters, man. These fighters today that fight tomorrow, they're older fighters. 33 and 30, almost 36. Bud is about to be 36 in 2 months. He's at that age where you can be considered going past your prime. Now, mind you, he has had 10 straight knockouts. Of his last 10 opponents, some of those opponents were very reputable opponents. Some of those opponents were undefeated opponents. So to say you can't really say that he is past his prime, but he is about to be 36. Now, is 36 the new 21? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he is at that age or at that time in his career where we see a precipitous fall off in his ability to withstand what Earl is going to bring to him, because I'm pretty sure Earl is going to be bringing the fire. I've never heard Earl seem as focused as he is for this fight. However, I've always seen Terrence Bud Crawford seemed as focused as he is for this fight. So I'm looking at it as a 50-50 fight. But is it the biggest fight since Leonard Hearns? And of course, this is definitely the biggest year in boxing as far as big fights since I can remember. I cannot pick out one year that had as many big fights as this year, or was going to have this year, that I can recall. I've been a boxing fan since the early '80s. Yeah, I'm an old man. I would say the late '70s, as a matter of fact. I was real young then. I was a little boy then, but yeah, I can say that, to me, in my opinion, in my take, that this is the biggest year in terms of matchups in boxing history since the early '80s that I can recall. Now, is this the biggest fight though since Leonard Hearns? It depends on how you're looking at it. Now, if you're going to say in terms of the money that's going to be generated, that's yet to be seen. Do you think it's going to top Pacquiao, Mayweather? No. I doubt that. I doubt if it tops Pacquiao, Mayweather. And both of those fighters, by the way, were really past their prime, but they were still huge names in the sport. And it's a fight that had been anticipated for years. And so when it happened, the explosion of revenue had built up. Now, this had been anticipated for a while. Will that explosion of revenue be seen? Well, the purse doesn't match the potential revenue as far as guaranteed money. According to sports payouts with an S.com, Earl will be receiving $2.5 million guaranteed, 50% of the pay-per-view. However, his total payout will be $6 million if the pay-per-view reaches 600,000 pay-per-view buys by fight night. Terrence Bud Crawford is guaranteed $4 million for the fight, 50% of the pay-per-view, and he gets a total payout of $10 million if the fight reaches 800,000 pay-per-view buys by fight night. Now, the thing is, first of all, I was surprised to see that Terrence Bud Crawford was guaranteed more than Errol Spence Jr. I was surprised at that, being as though Errol Spence has three belts, 3 of the 4 belts, and I thought that he was the bigger draw. He was the big fish, and so for Terrence to be guaranteed more, that was surprising. That is surprising. So if that's facts, wow. I'm surprised that Earl agreed to it, but I guess he must feel as though he got it in the bag, so it's worth him taking that chance. Now, looking at this graph of the total payouts can be sort of confusing because it says that, for example, Earl gets $6 million if the pay-per-view buys reach 600K on fight night or fight day. So I'm assuming that that is the total payout that he will receive, not on top of the 2.5, but if it reaches 600K in pay-per-view buys, that he will get a total, or is guaranteed a total of $6 million. Now, are you saying, because it says 50% of the PPV share, so are you saying that what triggers the 50% is the 600,000 pay-per-view buys on fight day, and all sales over that will be 50%? That's what I believe it's saying. So 600 or 600,000 pay-per-view buys will put $6 million in Earl Spence's pocket. Well, I mean, we know he got people to pay and taxes to pay, but my point is 600K in pay-per-view sales means that Earl Spence is guaranteed $6 million. All sales over that, 50% of that will also go in his pocket. That's what I believe it's saying. It can be confusing, but that's what I believe it's saying. So he can make upwards of over $20 million if they get a few million pay-per-view buys. Hopefully that's what they do. Will it be close to Mayweather-Pacquiao? Nah, I don't think so. Or even Mayweather-McGregor? I doubt it. So with all that being said, is it the biggest fight since Leonard Hearns? I don't think so, but the numbers don't lie. Let's see.